You wake up early, check your bank app, and feel a small sense of relief. The number is growing, slowly but steadily. You tell yourself you're doing everything right. You skip luxuries, cut expenses, and save every month. And yet, something feels off, because no matter how disciplined you are, you're not getting rich. That feeling? It's not a mistake. It's the system working exactly as designed. Hi, welcome to Money Decoded. Today, we reveal the hidden mechanics of why saving alone won't make you rich. If you're someone who wants to understand how money really works, make sure to subscribe and like this video if it helps you. Look, we've been lied to. Since we were kids, the advice was a penny saved is a penny earned. No. In the modern world, a penny saved is a fraction of a penny lost. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The math of saving is fundamentally broken. Let's look at a concrete example. Suppose you save $1,000 today. You put it in a high-yield savings account earning maybe 0.50% or 1%. Meanwhile, the average inflation rate over the last few years has peaked near 7% or 9%. Even at a normal 3% inflation, your $1,000 loses value faster than the bank pays you. In 10 years, that saved $1,000 might only buy what $700 buys today. You aren't saving money, you're watching it evaporate in slow motion. Now, you might be thinking, but Finn, having cash is safe, investing is risky. I get it. The loss aversion bias is hardwired into our brains. We feel the pain of losing $100 twice as much as the joy of gaining $100. But here's where it gets really interesting. The safety of a savings account is an illusion. By trying to avoid the risk of the market, you are guaranteeing the risk of inflation. You're choosing a 100% chance of losing purchasing power over a 70% chance of gaining wealth. This is the saver's trap. It's a psychological comfort zone that leads to financial stagnation. Let's run some real numbers. Let's talk about the millionaire's math. To save $1 million by putting away $500 a month in a 0% account, it would take you 166 years. You'd need to be a vampire to see that money. Even in a good savings account at 2%, it still takes over 60 years. But if you invest that same $500 at an average market return of 8%, you hit that $1 million mark in about 34 years. The difference isn't your saving habit, it's the velocity of your money. Wealth isn't a pile of cash, wealth is a system of productive assets. Most people treat money like a trophy to be kept in a glass case. The rich treat money like a worker they send out to bring back more friends. If your money isn't working while you sleep, you will work until you die. Warren Buffett said that, and he's not just talking about being a workaholic, he's talking about compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world. But here's the problem. Compounding requires a base that actually grows. If your interest rate is lower than the inflation rate, your compound interest is actually compound loss. This is what most people don't realize. The middle class is being taxed by stealth. Inflation is a hidden tax on savers. It rewards debtors and punishes those who hoard cash. Think of it like a treadmill. Saving is walking. Inflation is the belt moving backward. If you walk at 3 miles per hour and the belt moves at 3 miles per hour, you've done a lot of work to go nowhere. To actually move forward, you have to run faster than the belt. That's investing. So why do we stay on the treadmill? Because of certainty bias. We prefer a certain but bad outcome over an uncertain but great one. We've been conditioned to fear the stock market as if it's a casino, but the S&P 500 has returned about 10% annually on average for nearly a century. Yes, there are dips, yes, there are crashes, but over 20-year periods, the probability of losing money in the S&P 500 is historically zero. The real risk isn't the market going to zero. The real risk is you reaching age 65 with a pile of cash that can't buy a loaf of bread. Here's where it gets really interesting, the concept of opportunity cost. Every dollar you keep in savings is a dollar that isn't buying a piece of a global company. It's a dollar that isn't earning dividends. It's a dollar that isn't growing with the economy. You aren't just losing the 3% to inflation, you're losing the 10% you could have made. That's a 13% inactivity fee you're paying every single year.
But Finn, I need an emergency fund. You're right, you do. I'm not saying don't save at all. That would be reckless. Saving is for emergencies. Investing is for wealth. The mistake is using an emergency tool to build a skyscraper. You need a foundation of cash, 3 to 6 months of expenses, but everything above that is a leaking bucket. If you have $50,000 sitting in a savings account and your expenses are $3,000 a month, you have about $32,000 that is currently dying. So what are the actionable steps? How do you stop being a saver and start being a wealth builder? Step 1. Kill the leaking bucket. Automate your investments. If you don't see the money, you won't miss it, and it won't have time to rot in your bank. Step 2. Understand the rule of 72. Divide 72 by your interest rate to see how long it takes for your money to double. At 1% savings, it takes 72 years. At 10% market returns, it takes 7.2 years. Step 3. Shift your identity. Stop calling yourself a saver. Savers are spectators. Owners are participants in the global economy. When you buy an index fund, you own a tiny piece of Apple, Amazon, and Tesla. You want to be the person people pay money to, not just the person who holds the money. Look, the path to wealth isn't about how much you keep, it's about what you do with what you keep. Discipline is the start, but leverage is the finish line. Don't let your hard work be erased by a banking system that doesn't care about your retirement. You've done the hard part. You've learned to live on less than you earn. Now do the smart part. Give your money a job. Start small if you have to, but start today. Because the longer you wait, the faster that belt on the treadmill moves. If this video changed the way you look at your bank account, share it with someone who needs a wake-up call. I'm Finn, and this was Money Decoded. Stop saving, start building. We'll see you in the next one.